Hello! Welcome to my vlog video. I don't even know what I do here anymore, honestly. Oh my gosh, I just wiped my face with Gatsby and there's just so much menthol on my face, my eyes are watering. So today I wanted to do something kind of interesting, something different, something that I don't normally do on my channel. So I had this idea, right, of kind of like going back in time and just talking to you guys about like my old self. So I had this idea of like logging into my old MySpace and going through some of my old photos, because I know you can do that on the classic mode of MySpace. I don't remember the password to the email for my MySpace, so I can't log in, and Microsoft just denied me my password because I asked to get a new password or whatever, renew my password, but I haven't touched that account in like over 10 years or so that might not be happening. But as I was Googling myself, which sounds weird, I Googled myself to see if I could like find old photos. So I typed in Zakimi MySpace, nothing came up. But what did come up was something I totally forgot about, which is my old Tumblr account from 2015. Yes, your girl tried to do Tumblr, and if you guys don't know what Tumblr is, trust me, I'm not quite sure what it is either. I think it's like a blogging website where you go and blog. At least that's what I used it for. I don't even know if it's still a thing, but Tumblr was a thing back then. And I had a Tumblr account and I used it for blogging. And I found it and I totally forgot that I had it. And from the posts, it says it's from 2015. So I thought it would be really fun to kind of go back 5 years ago and see where little Kit was 5 years ago, back in 2015. So let's go ahead and like hop into my computer and check this shit out. To this day, this is like one of my favorite photos ever. I remember where I took it to. We were at a photo studio in Sacramento downtown, and they had this like Godzilla, and I love the Godzilla. And yeah, my friend took this photo of me, and to this day, this is probably one of my favorite photos I've ever had taken of me. I use this picture for my profile for a very long time for all my social media accounts. What did I say? Cusses like a sailor, smiles like an idiot, lover of teas. Nothing much has changed in 5 years, apparently, because that is how I would describe myself. All right, but let's go ahead all the way to the bottom. There's some interesting stuff here. Oh, look at me. Okay, so this is the first post. This is from 2014, December 29th, 2014. It feels like a long time ago and not so long ago at the same time. We're obviously heading to Okinawa, I believe. Yeah, waiting at the San Jose airport. We are off to a wonderful start on our trip to Japan. We're going to Japan, yay! So Matt and I got to the check-in counter around 9 a.m. and right as all Nippon Airlines opened for business, the crew came out from behind the counter and bowed to the waiting customers. My first thought was, ooh, so Japanese. I love it, which is actually really true. It's not like the United Airlines where you go to the ticket counter and everyone looks at you like they absolutely don't want you being there. ANA counters in America are so sweet, and so are the JL counters. Like when the crew and everybody comes out, they'll actually like do the whole Japanese thing and bow at the customers. And I remember thinking that was so cool. I loved it so much. A lady informed us that our plane was scheduled to be pretty empty. She noticed that Matt and I had reserved 2 seats on a row that has seats of 3. I had seat A, Matt had seat B, and seat C was empty. She then asked if I wanted to move one of us to the seat C. That way, if it does get crowded and the chances are unlikely, someone will pick an open seat, and someone won't, it is chances are unlikely someone will pick an open seat in between 2 people. Girl, that lady was nice. Wow. I remember Matt having this laptop. Landed safe and sound, the journey begins. Okay, so I just saw my family. I felt like any moment I was going to wake up and find myself back in Sacramento. It is so nice to wake up this morning to find that I am actually here. I am home. Wow, I am so overly dramatic. But that's cool. Let's see the pictures. Oh, that's so pretty. I've always loved like shots from the plane with the clouds and stuff. Wow, I do not look good there. Matt looks so young. I remember this jacket too. This was like one of my favorite jackets for Matt, and I stole it so many. I probably was the person who ended up destroying that jacket because I probably wore it more than him. Oh yeah, the food. Let me tell you something about ANA. I've flown Delta, I've flown American Airlines, I've flown United Airlines. The food on ANA, so much better. Like actually good. This is why when I fly, there's only like a very few airlines that I will actually fly. None of them are American unless it's Southwest Airlines, but they don't fly outside of the country. But I always usually fly like JL or ANA. Those are like the only two flights that I will do my best to take when going to and from Japan. If I can fly Japanese Airlines, I'm flying Japanese. Oh, I miss this wallet. My aunt got me that wallet, and I love that wallet. It's a little Totoro wallet. I remember that wallet. Matt still has these headphones too. These are the Bose headphones. I got them. There's so much more trash now. Those are the headphones sitting right there. I ordered some gin after dinner. They didn't have Coke, so they gave me Pepsi. Yeah, that was like one of my things. I liked gin and Coke when I drank. Oh, and the Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream. They're so bougie, ANA. They always give you Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream. I made it to the top 5 of Tetris Game Showdown going on in the plane. I ended up getting to the #1 spot by the end of the flight, but I don't know if you guys know this, but fun fact, I love Tetris. Like, that is one of my favorite games of all times. I'm actually really, really good at Tetris. I have a Tetris 99 for my Nintendo Switch, and I used to play that thing a lot. Okay, so here we are, Okinawa, Japan, December 31st. This is New Year's Eve. I took my bachan, so bachan was still alive at the time, which makes sense because it was 2015. And my uncle Hirobo, which you guys have seen my uncle in some of my like videos that we've taken him out on. And we drove 20 minutes to a smaller island, so we went to Ike. There's me. Do I look any different? Like 5 years ago? I feel like I look a lot younger. Definitely a lot rounder. This was probably... No, this wasn't my heaviest. 2012 was probably my heaviest. I was pushing 200 pounds at one point. Oh, there's my little grandma. Oh, I miss her so much. And this is my uncle Hirobo, which you guys have met. He's obviously doing a lot better then because this is pre-stroke. So he was like talkative and he was normal. I miss this Hirobo so much because he was so full of life and always joking and laughing, and like obviously like I still love my uncle, but it's just like when I see this picture I just think of him just back then, so full of life. And then he had a stroke like a year ago. And then this is my bachan. This smile was rare at this point in her life because she had dementia and she didn't really remember that much, but she remembered me. You know, it was just so cool for her to just be able to go out and just drive, and I don't know, she loved it. That was like her favorite thing to do, was just get in the car and drive somewhere. She loved it. In fact, she probably would have loved America, just being able to sit in a car and just like go on road trips and stuff. Oh, look at how beautiful that ocean is. This is winter water. This is December 31st, and that's how clear the water is in Okinawa, even in the winter time. It's so crazy. Oh, and here's Matt helping making the end of the year soba noodles. Oh, there's bachan in the background. Oh, that's gonna make me cry. I miss her so much. Oh, look at that bowl of soba noodles. It looks so good. Oh yeah. So this is my dad had just died like 4 months prior to this, because he died in September of 2014, and this is December 31st of 2014. This trip was pretty much a vacation for me. I wasn't planning on taking this trip. After my dad died, my mom was like, you should probably come home and just kind of, you know, get away from the States for a little bit and just kind of unwind. And so I took this trip as a purpose of that. Losing dad was still pretty raw there. There's Matt eating his soba. He looks so young, doesn't he? I don't know, he looks like super young. This is a soba place up north my uncle swears by, and this was one of the last places I took my grandma to go out to eat. Oh, this soba place is so good though. I wish I could remember the name of the soba place. If I can remember it, I'll leave it in the description below, which at this point you guys are probably like, no you won't. But if I can figure it out, I'll probably have to go there one of these days, because their soba is actually really good. Oh, here we are fishing. Oh, look at that. We caught this the other day when we went fishing with my uncle, something like it. Oh, we caught more fish back then. That looks so good. She probably just deep fried it in salt. Oh, this is actually one of my favorite pictures of me. I just like how everything's framed. He looks so young. let me know in the comments if you think he looks young, because to me I think we both look pretty young. But see, that's our fishing spot. You guys have seen this fishing spot if you've seen the video of me and where I took my uncle fishing the other day. So here we are eating sushi. This is crab legs coming out, but this is one of the things I really have always appreciated about Matt, is that he is not afraid to try new things, and he is actually a lot less picky than I am about food. He's always like down to try different things. He's always he's just really good about that. Like, he will try anything. My ex-husband was a very picky eater. He wouldn't even eat noodles and spaghetti, and that was my favorite type of food. And like, that's rough being with somebody who's picky, because I don't know, it's not as fun to go out to eat, because, you know, you can't be like, oh, you should try this. You know, Matt's like always down to try different things, and so that's something I really do appreciate about Matt. He's so adventurous. He brings out the adventurous side of me, and I really I love him for that. I wonder which sushi restaurant we went to. This was one of the first times that I had actually seen like an electronic screen at a sushi restaurant. I was like so mind blown by like just the tap screen. This was back in like 2015. Here's my birthday. So this was supposed to be up January 8th, 2015. So that would have been my 26th birthday. But yeah, if you guys want to write that very important date down on your calendar, it's right here. My birthday is January 8th, 1989, if you need to know the year, but January 8th. It's the most important day of the year. So, oh, there's my bachan. See, this was a very special moment for me, and I talk about it here, but my bachan's health had deteriorated so much by this point, by the time Matt and I came back, and she was in like advanced stages of dementia. According to my family, before I even got there, like she wasn't smiling. She didn't really show any signs of like understanding anything. You know, she could barely remember like my mom who lives with her, but she remembered me. She remembered it was my birthday. She sang me happy birthday, and like so much love. Like, everybody was crying when she started singing happy birthday to me, because she was just so advanced in her dementia that we didn't know how much she was going to understand. My family was so worried about me coming home and seeing her, because you know, they were worried how I would react to her not remembering me, because her and I were so close. Like, she practically raised me, but she remembered me. So that was pretty crazy. So on this trip, I took Matt to Osaka because he's always wanted to go to mainland Japan. And originally I wanted to take him to Tokyo because that's the place he's always wanted to go. But I couldn't afford the ticket to Tokyo, so I got the cheaper ticket. And so I surprised him for like a 3-day vacation in Osaka. Oh, that's raining. So we went to Osaka, and then we also took a trip to Kyoto, which was really fun. But these are pictures from Osaka. I've always wanted to go to Dotonbori, so I was really excited about that. Osaka was awesome. It was so cool. It was so pretty. I think I preferred Kyoto overall, like between Osaka and Kyoto, because Kyoto is more like, it's like a city, but it's still more traditional and it's really, really pretty. It's got more nature. Osaka is definitely a city, but for it being a city, like, it was a really nice city. We had so much fun. There were just so many lights everywhere. I think this is takoyaki and yakisoba, and that was like the two things I wanted to eat. I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but it's the one where it's the balls, the battered balls with the octopus in it, and it's from Osaka. And so I was like, if I'm going to Osaka, like, there's two things I have to eat, which is yakisoba and takoyaki. Two of those things, both from Osaka. It was legitimately good. It was so good. And then this was the first time we got to stay in a capsule hotel. It kind of freaked me out, because I don't know if it was because I had just lost my dad, but the capsule hotels, like, these things, like, this is your bed, right? And it feels like those morgue drawers where they keep the dead bodies. And I remember I had an anxiety attack when I first saw them, because I was just like, it just kind of took me back to my dad 4 months ago. I had a hard time sleeping in that. Like, it took me a second to get used to it, because it just, like, I don't have a problem with tight spaces. I actually find them very comforting, but it's just the way it looked. Like, like, aside from like having a hard time with the actual capsule, I enjoyed my experience of capsule hotels. They're really fun. I would love to do that again. again. Just like go to Japan and stay in capsule hotels and just go travel across Japan. That would be so much fun. There's so much of mainland Japan I still want to see. I've been to Tokyo a couple times. I don't remember really liking it. I definitely liked Osaka. I definitely liked Kyoto, but I haven't really had a chance to really explore Japan that much because being in Okinawa, you're so, you know, disconnected from what happens in the mainland. One of my biggest memories of being in Osaka was actually visiting a orphanage in Osaka. We had the chance to actually tour an orphanage. I don't really know the story, but Matt's grandpa was stationed in mainland Japan during the Korean War, and his troop, in order to help the locals, did like charity organization. One of the ones that they were really helping was this local orphanage in Osaka, and that's where he met this lady. Her name's Sister Suzanne. She was a Catholic nun. I think she passed away recently, but she had been living there for years. I mean, since the Korean War, basically. And she was a sister at this orphanage. And since we were going to Osaka, Matt's grandpa asked us to go visit her at the orphanage. So we had a chance to go and actually tour the orphanage. And it was such an eye-opening experience. Like, I couldn't take a picture of any of the kids for security and privacy reasons, but it was just so heartbreaking. You know, we got to meet some of these kids, and I didn't take any pictures of them, but they were just so excited to have people come and see them, and just, you know, like, they were so curious about us and they wanted to know all about us. And I think you could definitely tell that there was a lot of lack of just attention and love that they receive, because I mean, they're, you know, not because the orphanage doesn't take good care of them, but because the orphanage is set up like it's an apartment, you know, it's an apartment complex, and each unit has six to 9 kids living in a unit, and one person is in charge of that unit. This moment is actually one of the moments that really inspired me to make documentaries or become a documentarian, because I wanted to document the adoption or adoption process here in Japan, because Japan is one of the countries that has the least amount of adoptions that happen, and a lot of it ties into just society and traditional beliefs that Japanese people hold. So a lot of these kids that end up in these orphanages, who end up growing out of the system, pretty much the moment they go into this orphanage, they just become kind of like the bottom rung of society, basically, and that's kind of how they're treated through most of their life. And it's a really, really sad reality of just some of the traditional and like social beliefs that Japan has. And I remember just hearing Sister Suzanne's story, and it was just so like, it was just one of those moments where I'm like, I need to tell this story. This story specifically, adoption and orphanages in Japan, has been one of those like a dream documentary for me that I've always wanted to make. Oh, and this is the Sky Tower. It was so pretty. I forgot how tall it is. I think I say it here somewhere. It's a 40-story tower. It's 568 feet tall in the middle of Osaka, and it's so freaking tall. And I'm afraid of heights. I'm terrified of heights. This photo, you could see I'm like barely smiling. I was terrified of being so high up there. But I made it up there. Matt was enjoying it. He loved that whole experience. And then this was one of the first times we ever saw like a Pokemon center. We went to one of the big malls that was at a train station that we got off on near the Umeda Sky Tower, and it was the first time I had ever seen a Poke Center. Now they're everywhere. We have one in Okinawa too, but it was just so cool because we were walking around and all these like even older folks. It wasn't just kids, it was like older folks with DSs just hanging around the Pokemon Center, and they were like talking Pokemon, and it was just like so cool to see, because when you think Pokemon you think kids, but there's so many adults there with their DSs and just Game Boys and stuff, and just playing Pokemon in the mall by the Pokemon Center, and I just thought that was really, really cool. God, I hated that bag. My aunt forced this bag on me because she's like, it's so fashionable. I'm like, oh, I hate that bag. We got to go see a castle in Osaka. That was really cool. This guy I thought was just fat. It was just so cool. He was dressed like a samurai, but he was a trash collector. I love that. Oh yeah, and this was when we went to Kyoto. This is you guys have probably seen it. It's called Kinkakuji, and it was like a temple in Kyoto, and it's all like gold, and it's really pretty. That was really cool. That's something I've always wanted to see. I've always wanted to get a picture like this, so I was really excited to go finally see it. Kyoto is beautiful. Like, they have like architecture like this. Pretty is such a pretty city. I love Kyoto. If I didn't live in Okinawa, I would probably move to Kyoto in a heartbeat. Kyoto is so cool. Non-confessionable confessions. What the hell? With a week and a half left into my Okinawa trip, my techno noob aunt got an iPhone. I am teaching her as much as I can, but it's been a bit of a challenge trying to teach someone who barely knows how to get on the internet, which is true. To this day, she has a hard time getting on the internet. Her biggest wish is to use Twitter to connect with the fan base of KAT-TUN, her favorite J-pop band. If you guys know my aunt, you know how obsessed she is with KAT-TUN. As I made various teasing remarks about her lack of computer skills and trying to tackle Twitter, I realized something very significant. I have no freaking clue how to use Twitter. I've always just Facebook. No idea what is where and how it's done. Helping my aunt figure out Twitter has wanted me to try it as well. So I made a Twitter account that on January 22nd, 2015. I still have that Twitter. In fact, I use my Twitter more than any other social media account. So if you guys have Twitter, come follow me at Zakimi. Joe and I, the Burbs and I, we talk back and forth a lot on Twitter. Twitter's fun. I'm like just getting into it in 2020. I don't even think it's even relevant anymore, but I've been enjoying Twitter. So if you have Twitter, come follow me there. Let's chat. Oh, okay. This is my last post. This is the sun stop shining bright post. So January 24th, 2015, my bachan passed away. This is the last post. Do you guys hear that? If you guys hear that, that's just thunder and lightning. Oh my god. Matt's out there driving by himself. I hope he's okay. You guys will probably see a video of it because I told him to just try and go drive himself somewhere and vlog about it. I didn't think it was gonna rain like this though. This was the day I lost my bachan. And this was the last post I made on my Tumblr. I lost my dad in 2014 September, and then 4 months later my bachan passed away. January 24th, if she passed away on the 24th, 25th, 26th, the 27th, 28th was when my life changed forever. That was when I had my first panic attack. And from that day forward, for about a year, I basically became a hermit. Like, I couldn't leave my house. I've told this story a few times on my other vlogs, but this moment right here was an absolutely life-changing moment for me. A lot of pain and a lot of just growth happened after this moment. But crazy. Wow. Did you guys see that? Holy crap. Jesus Christ. Holy crap. Oh my god. I hope Matt's okay. I'm probably gonna give him a... Well, I don't know if I should call him because I feel like if he's driving, I don't want him to answer his phone. Anyway, I'll just text him. But that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I saw the Tumblr page and I was like, oh my god, I have to go through this. I want to see what this was like, where I was in 2015. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in and just kind of going on this memory trip with me. I don't know if this was interesting for you, but it was definitely interesting for me to kind of relive some of this like old memories. If I can get access to my MySpace, believe you me, there's gonna be some really interesting stories there. Jesus Christ, that is crazy. That's so loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it is so loud. Alright, I'm gonna text Matt to make sure he's okay, but I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace. Bye.